Morning, I'm back on my old stomping ground this morning. I'm on the Great Central Railway, the old Great Central Railway, just in between Killamarsh, behind me, and Baited in front. And we're just about to come up to the Rother Valley Country Park. That's the River Rother. There's a LDECR. It's going over that next bridge along. So this is an area I've already made quite a lot of videos on. I think it was back in March time now. I went around and just found all the bits that I knew about around here that were related to the disused railways, and I had so much fun making those videos. But I was walking the dog the other day, my unruly dog, and I was just having a scout around the old Killamarsh Junction where the signal box was, and there's all that pile of rubble, and I thought this is well worth a little revisit. So I'm just going to go down and just have a look at something what was called the Waleswood Curve. Right at the side of the line here, these only really become visible in winter. But yeah, you've got these old signal posts. He's passing on his way down towards Rother Valley. Let me come round this side. So, didn't know whether or not this was for a double signal or something like that, you know, one of those semaphore with two arms. Well, that's a huge post. Still got some steel work on there. Yeah, not easy to spot that in summer, but we're right across from the old mill, just on the way into Killamarsh. So the other side of that bridge is Derbyshire, so I'm crossing over now into South Yorkshire. So the Waleswood Curve, I'll tell you a little bit about it. So it opened in 1893 and it closed in 1967. The tracks were ripped up in 1968. So not a lot remains of the Waleswood Curve in its entirety, just a short section at the Rother Valley side, because much of Rother Valley onwards was obviously, it was turned into an open cast mine before Rother Valley Country Park came on the scene. That's what Rother Valley was. So the reason the curve was opened is we had, obviously this is a Great Central main line between ultimately London, Sheffield, Manchester, but there was also a Great Central line going off at Sheffield to Lincoln, which is the worktop line from Sheffield. So what this did is this cut out the need for trains to go up to Woodhouse and then reverse back down the Lincoln line. So it just created a link between this line and that line that just cut out that need to reverse. Now I always do this. I say I'm just going to make a little film. I'm not going to film stuff I've filmed before, then I just end up having a scout about and end up just covering all the stuff. So there's the old branch line that went down to the mill, little cut in there. That's the LDECR, the other side. It still amazes me when I come back here, just how much railway stuff there is. Right, so we're getting into the area now that we're interested in. So we're just coming up to Killamarsh Junction. This is where Killamarsh Junction signal box was. So just going off in that direction. I'll show you in a minute. That was the main Great Central line towards Sheffield. So that goes over that big disused hollow iron girder bridge that's still there that crosses the Midland. You can see that if you come into Rother Valley from the Baited side. And what we had going off to the right hand side was our Waleswood Curve. Yeah, so down there, that's to that girder bridge over the Midland. Ignore that, that's the footpath. That's not related to any railways. But on this side here was a cut-in. That's the Waleswood Curve. So right, I'm on the track bed of the Waleswood Curve now, just where it's leaving the main Great Central line. Just take a look at this photograph. This was a photograph I found from Killamarsh History website, that just which was a photograph of the old Killamarsh Junction signal box. Now, on the last videos I did, I said that this was the remains of that signal box, but several people said no, it wasn't. This was a toilet block or something like that. But if you have a look at that photo, there's definitely quite a substantial brick base to that signal box, which apparently was to protect it from bombs being dropped during the war. So I still stand by my initial comments that I think this is related to that signal box. It was in between the two lines, so I think it's been kind of dragged over this side when it was demolished and basically just dumped. Well, let's have a closer look around what we can see in this wreckage, shall we? As you can see, there's quite a substantial amount left behind here. Whenever I see bricks, I always like to have a look, see if there's anything etched on them, any letters or markings. But I'm not seeing anything on any of these. The wreckage is just, still goes on. Bricks just scattered everywhere. So it's quite a big wreckage site, this. Another telegraph pole just over here. So that's buried, goes underneath this banking. Yeah, so that's Killamarsh Junction. So what I'm going to do now, what I haven't done before, I've never explored down this bit. I'm going to take a walk down the first section of the Waleswood Curve as far as we can get. So it's a lot. I've looked at this before, but it's the right time of year to be doing this. A lot easier, he says. So I don't know what's going to be down here, but got all these little fabricated concrete installations. So this was double track. You can tell it's quite a wide cutting. There's another telegraph pole. That is a big one up the side of the banking, so I've never seen that one before. It's not visible from the path. The path's just the other side of that banking. Right, we're nearly at the end actually of that little section. So, excuse me, just climbing over these trees. Got a little BMX track or mountain bike track crossing us here. It's like a sleeper's been used. Let's try and bridge that pile of mud. Alright, you can see it's coming through the trees. There we go. Bit of blue brick there. So yeah, it's coming through the trees. We've got the bridge. So this is the LD ECR going over the top of the Waleswood branch. So again, you'll recognise this bridge if you've watched my other videos from Rother Valley. So that was easy going to that last little bit, but that's where we've just walked through. That cutting down there. And here's the LD ECR bridge going over the top. So as we can see, 3 arches that side, and then this girder span. It still amazes me that this is just in the woods as it is. So as you can see, there's nothing, there's no track bed left there. I can see the track pins sticking out though. So you can see what poor state of repair this bridge is in. So we're on the other side of the bridge, bearing down on Rother Valley Country Park that you can probably just make out the water through the trees. And you'll notice we're kind of heading downhill now. So in terms of that curve, in terms of that line that we're losing, it went off in that direction. So like I say, this was open cast mining. So the landscape from after the line was closed has changed dramatically. The whole geography of the place. There was so from here, I'll show you with some old maps and old photos as well. But it went straight across where the lake is now, swung behind where the visitor centre is now. Then if you've ever been to Rother Valley Country Park, where the little cafe and things is, so it crossed there over the River Rother on Bedgrieve Viaduct. So let's have a closer look at the route of the line that it took after leaving that little short section that we've just walked down. So as we can see, the line's gone right across where Rother Valley Country Park is now. So it passed underneath a small tunnel under Waleswood Road before rejoining the main Sheffield to Lincoln line by Mansfield Road. So let's just have a look at that section as it crosses Rother Valley Country Park. So as we can see from this old map, we can see the lines crossing the River Rother via something called the Bedgrieve Viaduct. Now it's important to note at this point, this is the old route of the River Rother. It was diverted when they constructed the lake at Rother Valley Country Park. So if I just blend that same map with a little bit of Google Maps thrown in, we can see where the lake is today and the new course of the River Rother just to the right hand side. Now, I couldn't get my hands on any old photos of that Bedgrieve Viaduct, but if you could just imagine, it's just behind where the cycle hire centre is today. Now, it's hard to picture, it's hard to imagine where this line actually ran, given how different the landscape is around Rother Valley these days. But as the line made its way northeast from Rother Valley Country Park, it went through a small tunnel under what's now Waleswood Road. So there's no evidence remaining of that tunnel these days, but here's a few photographs again from the Killamarsh Local History Facebook page. We can see the open cast workings in these photographs. Now let's move a few hundred yards down the line and look at the junction with what's now the Sheffield to Lincoln line. So the two lines meet at Waleswood Junction, which is next to what used to be the Waleswood Colliery and also at one time Waleswood Station. And let's have a look at Google Maps of the A618 Mansfield Road. Now I drive down this road several times a week and I'd not noticed this until I did the research into this video. So if you look at this Google Maps photo, you can see these disused abutments, and this is where Waleswood Curve joined the Sheffield to Lincoln Great Central line. So that's where that Waleswood Curve went. So I'll join you back down now on the west side of Rother Valley Country Park, back on the disused line. So there's that bridge still visible through the trees. We're about to burst out now on the side of the lake at Rother Valley Country Park. Very crisp morning. I love that. I love that feeling of the frozen grass. So while I'm in the area, I'm just getting my money's worth. I'm walking back to Killamarsh on the LDECR line. I've seen it called a few times the Clog and Hopper, which always makes me smile. But I'll say farewell for now, and I'll close out the video just the views of me walking back to Killamarsh. So it was just a little video, little bonus video, thought it was worth coming and just filming. So thanks again for watching, appreciate all the support that I get for everybody. So take care, and I'll see you soon on another video.